The self is, and the self alone is. Nothing can be said or thought about it. Though from another angle of vision, we are always only thinking of that, speaking of that. Sneezing of that. This self is infinite, and there is therefore nothing outside it. This, your own self, is homogeneous. So there is nothing apart from it or different from it in nature. This self is unborn, uncreated, and forever non-dual. So there is nothing but that, always. Its very nature is peace, which is so evident in the Maharshi. Peace belongs to the unchanging, which alone is the eternal. That unchanging eternal peace, of the nature of being consciousness bliss, Satchidananda, this is your own nature, your own existence. All bondage is but ignorance regarding this nature, while liberation is a matter of self-knowledge. Mixing up the real and the unreal, what is not the self and what is yourself, gives rise to any trouble, any kind of suffering. This does not alter the reality. It does not change your nature. It is but an illusory veil. And as the Maharshi and Shankara pointed out, the nature of illusion, Maya, is that which is not. If you suffer in any way, if your bliss is not full, see in what ways you appear to be bound. Trace the bondage back to ignorance, which is composed of misidentification. Inquire into your nature to find out whether such misidentification is valid. Finding out its false nature, you remain, without definition, supremely non-attached. That which is bliss itself, your own being, is not attached to anything. If you mistake yourself to be something you're not, then with that misidentification, various attachments and the suffering that naturally comes from that occurs. The state of supreme detachment, in which you are nothing and have nothing, which is the state in which you are infinite and eternal. This is your natural state. All else is a product of imagination, ignorance. In the concluding portions of Who Am I?, The Maharshi equates vairagya, dispassion, detachment, and jnana, knowledge. He equates the two. Shankara has done likewise, Vivekachudamani. To have nothing as I, or me, nothing as mine, is the true state. Claim the body as you or yours, there is birth, death, and illusion. Know the truth that you are not the body, you are the unborn, the undying, the unchanging, and thus peace itself, the eternal itself. Claim a thought as you or yours, there is the delusion, the maya of the mind. Do not claim a thought as you or yours, and there is no mind whatsoever. Assume an I, and whatever is possessed by that I, such as experience, thought, sensation, etc. There is the illusion of bondage. For the sake of liberation, inquire, who am I? And divesting yourself of, liberating yourself from the false sense of I and mine, what you called liberation, is the natural state. Innate to that existence, consciousness, bliss, which is who you are. The truth is self-evident. If it appears otherwise, inquire and know yourself. If for this purpose it is helpful for you to ask a question or relate your own experience, at any point feel free to do so.
We talked last week about that whatever arises must be of the nature of the self. And I was meditating this week and trying to just abide in bliss and keep the ego from coming up. Can't hear you, David. And it was a long meditation, there were moments of clarity, and one of those moments I just opened my eyes and it was like I saw the room, the eyes saw the room, but I saw God. And it was just being consciousness, just undescribable. And there was still individuality left, and because it was, couldn't look at it for very long. It was still there, that some I there who was experiencing that, but still. And then I knew that it was the self, the same that I had been close to, or trying to abide with, or in that bliss. It was the same. And now I understood, why the world and everything else is called an arising, because it arises from the self. It's all that same nature. And I went on meditating, and like a desire arose. And I saw that too. That was nothing but self. And that was very powerful. That seeing that desire, that, how could it cause me any trouble? And this is something I've talked to you about many times, about trying to see thought as nothing other than the self. And I just had some glimpses, and I want to further that make that experience continuous and deepen that, so that, because it seems logical to me that if you see everything as an arising of the self, being the self, then there would not be any arising at all, because it all is self.
How do you propose to elevate your experience from something arising from the self and the desire that follows to the desireless state that is completely of the perfect fullness or purna, in which not a single thing has ever come to be? How do you propose to connect the experience?
I was hoping you'd tell me.
Oh, I see. You make up the problem and then I have to answer it.
Yeah.
Okay. What is it that you desire?
What is it that I desire?
You said you felt the desire strongly. What is it that you actually desire? Don't look at the form of the desire. Look to its essence or substance. What is it that you're desiring?
Happiness.
So when you say there is no harm that comes from the desire, is it so? Is the happiness elsewhere? And is the idea that the happiness is elsewhere, be it in space or in time or elsewhere in your mind? Doesn't that tend to be a problem?
A drag. Yeah, because it's self-perpetuating.
Maya is either self-perpetuating or self-destructing. The mind is turned outward, it's self-perpetuating. If it's turned inward, it's self-destructing.
So, it's like harming yourself with your own thoughts, okay? You really can't do any harm to yourself by your own thoughts, but you can certainly suffer by them.
Mm-hmm. So to eliminate suffering, what do?
Two things, and one of which was, what is the nature of that desire, and what really is its essence, and who are you, the one who desires it? And
are you a desirer?
Well, I looked into that, and that desire just kind of dissolves when it dissolves in happiness.
That which can dissolve cannot be real. The characteristic sign of reality is it has no beginning, no end, and no change.
It uses a lot of changes.
So the desirer and his desires are not real. How about the one who sees the arising? Is there any arising in deep dreamless sleep?
No. No, it's...
Then can it be real? As long as the objective outlook is not given up, you'll be looking for an explanation about this, this aspect of the experience. But the this all is determined by the I. According to the stand of the I, thus this will be perceived. The very notion of this depends on the assumption of I. Who am I?
In the meditation, it kind of, I had these experiences, and then there was confusion. It was, everything that at one point you told me a few weeks ago, after disidentifying from the 5 sheets of whatever, you need to look and see what's left over. And I could see at that point that I could see clearly what was left over, the sense of being a person, being a witness to all this, that noticing that there is these things arising.
Don't you need the 5 sheaths in order to even conceive or perceive of the arising?
So you need...
Without the Anamaya Kosha and the Pranamaya Kosha, without the sheath of the animating energy and of the body, you have no sense perception. If what you call arising is sense perception, you're using your senses as the determination of reality, even though they're not equipped for the task.
Mm-hmm.
If what you call arising is mental or subtle in nature, doesn't that require the Manomaya and Vijnanamaya Kosha if we're going to use this means of description, the sheaths of the intellect and the mind? What is a sheath or only a product of a sheath cannot be your real self. Strip off all the sheaths and then see what is real. If you want to know about this, find out about I. But if you deeply inquire as to who am I, there is no individual answering to that name, no embodied being.
What
then know this.
That there was this confusion that all of these things were clearly not I. And then there was just a not knowing anything. And that seemed, it seems like that you had no alternative but to stay there, And really, what else is left? After you really try to get rid of everything and see everything as objective to subject.
So not knowing closely approaches the truth.
Yes, it's on the threshold. And then you don't know about the arising.
First, utterly relinquish the misidentification with a body, a mind, and an ego.
Mm-hmm.
Then we'll see if there's arising or not.
Yes.
Again, various explanations are found in the old text, in the old scriptures. If it is said, all is Brahman, Brahman is what is being indicated as real. No emphasis is placed on the all. If it is said that the self is the source of all, is to encourage the meditator to realize that source and not to build up a concrete concept that there's really an all spouting out, sprouting forth from the self.
Yes. Yes, I knew that there was individuality left there that wasn't examined. And it wasn't samadhi because, but I wanted to see what the arising was. And for that point, it was helpful.
So now do you know what it is?
Yeah, but I feel like, it's a process. Okay, sadhana is a process, and that I need to have this experience more and more often, and to get into undifferentiated meditation.
All right, sadhana is a process. Realization is not a process, but sadhana is a process. It's a process of the abandonment of ignorance, the misidentification, right up to the idea of I, and the corresponding revelation of knowledge, which is a matter of reality comprehending itself. Different aspirants will feel they need different things. Really only one thing is necessary: self-realization.
Yes. I felt with the not knowing that one could only surrender at that point.
I've been coming here for 20 years, off and on, and I'd just like to share that self-inquiry is real. It is real. It is as real as anything that could ever be real, and it works. And so I just wanted to share that, because one who really desires liberation, that desire must be so deeply intense that it just has to be overwhelmingly intense. But that desire, if that desire is channeled into self-inquiry, it will come to liberation, believe me. Just wanted to just share that with everybody here.
A couple things. First one is kind of a logical one, and the other one is more of an experiential one. When Maharishi talks about in deep dreamless sleep, there's no mind present, but you can't practice in that state. You need to be in the waking state, and what's present in the waking state, as far as I can tell, is the mind. So it's sort of like the thing that you need to have to get rid of, to get back to the state that's close to what you're in deep dreamless sleep. Seems to be a little bit of a tiger chasing its own tail. Do you follow where I'm?
In which of the three states are you?
Waking now.
Are you?
Dang. Okay.
This should not be a matter of logic, a matter of experience. Do the three states appear in you, or do you appear in them?
Well, in a state of ignorance, I appear in them. When I'm a little more waken up, then it's the other way around.
Do you change positions, or you just become more understanding?
By more understanding, do you mean more self-knowledge?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Okay, that kind of answers that question.
What appears in the waking state, can you be any of that? Including that body and the character that seems to inhabit it?
No, because it isn't there during the deep dream of sleep. So.
Whatever is coming and going cannot be your actual existence, since you're existing all through. You don't wake when waking occurs, you don't dream when dreaming occurs, and you don't sleep when sleeping occurs. Deep dreamless sleep is pointed out simply because the present long-standing habit of mind is to regard the waking state as real, with its conceptions and perceptions taken to be fact, even though they're just a product of that mental state. The state of mind itself being those very perceptions and conceptions. In one sense, it is said you practice in the waking state. You could do it in dream. In deep sleep, it is said that practice really does not go on, even if it is one of the more peaceful moments of the entire day. Really, the practice is waking up from all three states. So on the one hand, you can say it seems to occur while in the waking state. More truthfully, it does not occur in any of the mental states. It's liberating yourself from those states, not in those states. Just as it is not liberating the individual, it's liberation from the individual.
That kind of leads to the next thing I was going to talk about, is that when I'm inquiring, I'm either doing one of two things. I'm either daydreaming about inquiring, which a lot of times I get fooled into thinking that's inquiry. And when that finally seems to stop is when it's so unsatisfying to continue doing that it gets frustrating. It's like, wait a minute. Then I'll go back to just the very basic thing of for who are these thoughts occurring? And that seems to be the simplest and the most direct way to get out of that daydreaming mode. And anytime I do that, then that works.
So the inquiry always works, it's just a matter of actually inquiring.
It's a matter of actually inquiring.
And if that inquiry, which alone does not include any of the duality, multiplicity, or imagination that you're trying to transcend, if that inquiry is fueled, as was just mentioned a few moments ago, by the intense desire for liberation, why then the conclusion is foregone.
Yeah, it makes me wonder why the desire comes and goes. Because what happens is, when I get tired of either daydreaming enough in a meditative, sitting down, eyes closed, meditating, or just what we call daily life, after that gets to be unsatisfying enough, then I look for something else. And
When the samsara is unsettling or dissatisfying, one looks for something else.
what I would like to do is be, well, it was said, it's the desire. That's what happens, is the desire gets strong enough to escape that dissatisfying state.
Are your daydreams also filled with desires?
That's what they are.
So the same desire is present all the time. With the addition of ignorance, it's a multiplicity of desires. With the elimination of ignorance, the desire is central and focused. Now, just as there is the same desire, likewise there is the same existence. Whether your eyes are open or eyes closed, whether seated or your body is active. when your body is active, which you alluded to as daily life, that whole appearance occurs in the same place as the experience in meditation. The inner and the outer are both contained in your own mind. And if you make a distinction, examine to see what misidentification you are assuming. Is the I am the body notion still being manufactured?
Daily.
Daily. Without the I am the body idea, what is this daily life, as you called it?
There isn't one.
So do you want to integrate your meditation with your daily life, or do you want to wake up from all that?
Oh gosh, it's just, it's funny how all the solutions for getting out of the mind when you're in the mind are more mind. They're just more of the same stuff. And you can either be kind of like, you can have different modes, like I'm going to be smart about it, or I'll be whatever, but it's all the same.
It appears like a hydra. Every time you deal with one, you've got two more coming up.
Or it's like whack-a-mole. It's a game that they have at sideshow and carnivals, and what they do is they give you this club, and this little mole keeps popping its head up, and every time you hit one, it makes another one come up. Whack-a-mole.
I'll have to get one for downstairs.
Yeah. This has got to stop playing whack-a-mole.
There is a solution. There is an answer. But never expect the answer to appear at the same level or within the same perspective as the ignorance was generated.
That's what the inquiry is.
Mm-hmm. Inquire to know who you are, make your vision non-objective, fueled by that intense desire for liberation, abandon the seeming present state of mind.
The seeming present state of mind, that's the... Because what it sounds like I'm doing is I'm making a state of mind appear real, or believing that it's real, and then try to come up with some solution at the same level.
Do you believe that now?
No.
Okay.
In your answer to Jim, you were saying at one point you said the inquiry has to can't include any of the dualities or any of just to make that point clear. I can't remember your words, but that part seems critical. That the tool that you're using is what you want to. That seeing itself can't have any of this extraneous baggage on it at all. And that it seems as if you can see them. And it would seem as though the inquiry itself, if it was without all of that, if it was totally clean like that, then there wouldn't be any obstacles at all. I don't know what I'm saying. Maybe I'm asking if you could talk about that just a little bit more, because that seems like if you could get real clear on removing all of the obstacles that appear to be attached to that thing that you're actually employing, you're not employing it because you've just gotten out of the way if you've eliminated duality by using it. That in itself would be it. The inquiry, does that make sense?
The inquiry itself, self-inquiry, already has no duality or multiplicity or delusion in it. Consequently, there's no need to clean up the inquiry. The inquiry itself just needs to be practiced. We should not call something else done with the mind or senses or body inquiry. That's not inquiry. Self-inquiry, just as the Maharshi has given the instruction, is itself sufficient. How else to know oneself except by constantly inquiring as to who am I?
Is that inquiry, though, of consciousness? The inquiry itself would be, that tool would already be, tool isn't the right word, but the...
Whose tool?
Yeah, the inquiry itself, it seems like it would already be devoid of.
That's why the practice is advised. The approach is, once again, utterly impersonal.
So that's what you mean when you were telling me several, that's 5 questions about impersonals. In that inquiry has to be without all the dualities of person, obviously. But it would.
I could never understand Ramana Maharshi's question, who am I? I've read a few of his teachings, and it never dawned on me where that was leading until I went to a Gamaji talk in, I think it's San Dominican in Marin. And she asked that question. And when she asked that question, my mind went blank. It stopped my mind. And that's when I understood who am this. That's what I understood. Who am I to me? And it's not describable once that experience happens. You can't describe. It just is. There's a teaching in Dogen where a disciple goes up to a master and he wants to be enlightened. He wants to know what enlightenment is. So he takes the disciple out into the night, and they lay down on the ground and they look up at the stars and they hear a dog bark. And he said, just that, as being that enlightened state. And it's not describable, it's just, you experience that. Am I going anywhere with you on that one?
Or are you just barking?
Okay, so I went 2 places. One is the inquiry. Self-inquiry is leads you to a no-mind state. That's what I felt when that question was brought to me. there's one other aspect that has always intrigued me about you're not the body and you're not the mind. One particular teacher has stated that you are more than the body and that you're more than the mind. You're already ever-present awareness. Which I guess in non-dualism would be the self.
The Maharshi has said in verse that when even the primordial Guru Dakshinamurti could reveal the truth only through silence, who else could express it by words or in any other means? The Maharshi also said the silence is that state in which I does not arise. That state in which there is no I, as was mentioned earlier, there can be no this. The unborn is the uncreated. There is then no question of less or more, an active mind or a blank mind, or any other such thing.
So this week I've been trying to, examine, in more detail my ideas. And it seemed like I was noticing a lot of ideas, first of all. And but sometimes the same thing would come back. And so I knew that I probably hadn't examined it as thoroughly as I could have. And sometimes I get into this mode though where I meditate on not being the body, not being the senses, or all this being in my mind. But it seems like when it comes to the mind, I have more difficulty sometimes. So just I don't know. And it seemed like, but I had some cool meditations where, it really seems like it comes down to your identity, what I'm taking my identity to be. And when I notice that, it's like, whoa, that's cool. And anyway, that's a lot of my ideas seem to be because I've been putting a lot of energy into working. It seems like my work life is expanded twofold now. So I've been working a lot of hours and working on some pretty difficult things also. So my mind is, so I'm trying to set up the business during the day and then I go home and do real work at night. And so I have a long day pretty much. So I put a lot of kind of mental energy in. And I kind of keep noticing, oh yeah, am I kind of spinning out thinking that there's some security in all this? And,
Is there?
I think, on a short-term basis for the body, there's a lot of security.
In what sense?
Well, the body, I guess, has to eat.
If it's alive to do so.
I'm trying to keep it alive, I guess.
By eating?
Continue a few more years.
Is there security in that?
It's a treadmill. That doesn't feel like much security, that's for sure.
So where are you secure?
Well, it seems like it must be a place which doesn't have that treadmill kind of approach.
Where is that place in relation to you?
Well, it's kind of funny because as soon as my mind is clear, then it's pretty close to me.
How close?
I don't know, maybe go distance.
Okay, can't measure.
But when my mind's cloudy, like a lot of thinking, right?
What makes for a cloudy mind? Just thinking? Or something else?
Identity. Yeah, when I'm thinking that this is my responsibility, I signed up this contract, and they keep putting like big bombs in the roadway, for me. It's like every day. It's like totally ridiculous. And they say there's only 4 more weeks to finish it. I'm just thinking, oh my God! How in the heck? I think they keep putting bombs in my way. They expect me to finish this thing. So it's really pretty ridiculous. But yeah, this I kind of been somewhat worried about because I think it's my responsibility.
Do you do?
Yeah, I think I do then. Yeah, because that's where a lot of the fear comes up, is that I have to do this thing, give them something.
Your body and mind are active, or are you active?
Yeah, my body and mind.
So they are like the instruments. You're not the instrument. The success or failure is for the instrument, not for you. Can you see that?
Yeah, it seems like it comes down to the main instrument is my mind, it seems like. Because it kind of...
Mm-hmm. Yes, the body does not exist outside the mind. So the instrument is only the mind. But you are not the mind. So you don't do anything.
So I have no responsibility for those thoughts? It seems like I sort of do. I mean,
If they're your thoughts, that you have responsibility for them. Certainly no one else has responsibility for them. Anyone else would be in your mind. If it's all in the mind, it's your mind, it's your responsibility. What do you mean by thought?
Let's see. Usually it seems like it's these things that kind of float by that somehow has my identity in them.
All of them do?
No, not all of them. But
What
the
are
heavy,
the what are the
heavy-duty ones do.
okay? What are the thoughts that don't have your identity? What's their nature?
I don't know what their nature is.
How do you know they exist?
I wasn't sure if they did. I don't know.
Become more unsure.
It seems like they're almost hard. I mean, they're very vaporous, though.
Like wind in space.
But the ones with my identity in them, they seem pretty, like big boulders or something.
What gives them the big boulder effect?
Because they keep hitting me in the head. I guess the suffering is involved.
Do you hit them or do they hit you? Where do they get their sense of reality or identity from?
That's interesting. Yeah, in a certain sense, they seem very objective. In another sense, they must, because they have that heaviness to them, they must have some sort of misidentification with that sense of reality.
Do they claim they're real or do you claim they're real? Do they claim your identity or do you say, these are my identity?
I say that they're.
So the reality and identity are in you. What remains of the thought?
Well, what remains is. Well, I mean, if you see it that clearly, it seems like nothing. I mean, the thought doesn't seem significant at all.
Do you see it that clearly?
I wish I could say I did. It seems like it definitely. It's strange because when I come here, I see things a lot clearer.
How do you mark off here?
Shoot. Maybe it's a gravitational force to the self. I don't know. But wherever that is. But whenever that's there, that's okay.
Well, if we call it the gravitational force of the self, then it must be wherever you are.
Okay.
Are they of equal weight? That clarity and the unclarity. Are they both equally real?
Well, it's interesting because it becomes unreal one thing can always become unreal. You know, in other words, the illusion seems like it becomes unreal. The thinking, the bound state.
The unreal can alone become unreal. The real never becomes unreal. The unreal never becomes real. The real always is. The unreal never comes to be. That's the conclusion to be seen. How do you know about your thoughts, both the ones to which you, in delusion, attribute identity and those you do not? How do you know about thoughts?
We're aware of them.
Trace the awareness inward. What is its nature?
Trying to find, I don't know, definitely more space-like.
With form or without? With beginning or without?
It's like that story, I guess, where one guy goes down below and the guy goes up above and they keep going, right?
Yes, Brahma and Vishnu looking for the infinite column of light of Shiva. That's right.
It's hard at the end. You know?
Now Vishnu came back saying, in all humility, there is no end, no bottom to this. And Brahma, because he's in charge of creation, came back and lied. When he lied, he kind of lost his head a bit. If you're familiar with the Puranic story. Therefore, no worship of Brahma takes place, but worship of Vishnu, which is of the nature of perpetual existence, identical with Shiva, takes place. So much for the symbolism. Find out if that consciousness within you, which knows all thoughts, but which none of the thoughts know, has a beginning and end. If it has no form, how could it? Go on inquiring. There is no such thing as a mind or thought. Consciousness plus the idea of something objective comes out as thought or mind. If you then further misidentify with them, they seem like what you refer to as boulders. And those boulders wind up right on top of your shoulders. But the truth is, you cannot possibly be a thought. And the truth is, you will not change your nature. So then there is neither I, nor thought, nor anything else. Just one being consciousness, which alone is.
ॐ तेजबिन्दु परं ध्यानं विश्वातीतं हृदि स्थितम् आणवं शाम्भवं शाक्तं स्थूलं सूक्ष्मं परं च यत्.
Om, now the effulgent point. It has its excellent meditation. Supermundane, seated in the heart, attained by the Annava, Shakta, and Shambhava methods. The meditation is gross, subtle, as well as that which is transcendental.
Dussadyam cha duraradyam, dushpreksham cha durashrayam, durlaksham dustaram dhyanam, muninam cha manishinam.
Even to the wise and the thoughtful, this meditation is difficult to perform and difficult to attain, difficult to cognize and difficult to abide in, difficult to define and difficult to cross.
Jitaharo jitakrodo, jitasango jitendriyaha, nirdvanto nirahankaro, nirashira parigraha.
To attain that meditation, one has to be abstemious on food, a master over anger, attachment, and his passions. One has to be free from the pairs of opposites, devoid of egoism, free from hope, and free from possession.
Agamya gamya karta cha gurumanarthamanasaha, mukhani trini vindandi, tridhamahamsa uchyate.
He should be one who makes that which is inaccessible accessible, one whose whole aim is to serve the Guru and his cause only. Sages reach the three gates to it. Therefore, the Supreme Soul is said to have three resorts.
Param guhyamidam sthanam, avyaktam brahma nirashrayam, vyoma rupam kala sukshmam, vishno tat paramam padam.
This is supreme, hidden in mystery, the resting place of all and imperceptible. It is Brahman without support, of the nature of unlimited space, atomic and subtle. That is the supreme abode of Vishnu.
Trimbagam trigunam sthanam, tridhatu rupa varjitam, nishchalam nirvikalpam cha, niradharam nirashrayam.
Pertaining to the Triambaka, containing the three gunas, support of all, the three worlds are its elementary or essential constituents, devoid of form, unchangeable, unconditioned, uncontainable, and without substratum.
Upadirahitam sthanam, vangmanotita gocharam, swabhava bhavanagrahyam, sankhadega padojhitam.
It is the state free from all limitations, beyond the range of speech and mind, perceivable by thinking on one's own state, and abandoned by words denoting plurality as well as unity.
Anandam nandanadidam, dushpreksham ajamavyayam, chittavritti vinurmuktam, shashvatam dhruvamachyutam.
It is bliss itself, beyond the causality of happiness, difficult to be seen, birthless, immutable, free from all functions of the mind stuff, eternal, constant, and imperishable.
Tad brahmanam tadadhyatmam, tannishta tat parayanam, achitta chittamatmanam, tadyoma paramam sthitam.
It is that which is Brahman. It is that which is Adhyatma. It is that which is the extreme limit. It is that which is the supreme refuge. It is knowledge, independent of the mind stuff. It is the Atman. It is of the nature of infinite space. It is established.
शून्ये शून्यभावं च शून्यातीतम् अवस्थितं न ध्यानं न च वा ध्याता न ध्येयो ध्येय एव च.
Though it is that which is not void, yet thought of as void, but in reality it transcends voidness and is firm fixed. It is not meditation, not the meditator, and not that which is meditated upon.
सर्वं तत्परमं शून्यं न परं परमात्परम् अचिन्त्यमप्रबुद्धं च न च सत्यं न संविदुः मुनीनां तत्त्वयुक्तं तु न देवानः परं विदुः.
That Brahman is all, supreme, of the nature of space. To it there is nothing superior. It is higher than the highest, unthinkable, and free from the experiences of the waking state. It is not that the sages who devote themselves to the truth do not know it as the reality. It is not also that the gods do not know the highest.
लोभं मोहं भयं दर्पं कामं क्रोधं च किल्बिषं शीतोष्णं क्षुत्पिपासं च संकल्पं च विकल्पकं न ब्रह्मकुलदर्पं च मुक्तिं ग्रन्थसञ्चयम्.
Brahman is not known to those who are possessed of avarice, delusion, fear, egotism, lust, anger, and sin, or possessed of heat and cold, hunger and thirst, or mental resolve and indecision, or pride of birth in a Brahmana family, or vanity in having read a mass of books on mukti.
न भयं सुखदुःखं च तथा मानापमानयोः एतद्भावविनिर्मुक्तं तद्ग्राह्यं ब्रह्म तत्परं तद्ग्राह्यं ब्रह्म तत्परमिति.
Brahman is not known to those who are sensitive to fear, or pleasure and pain, or honor and disgrace. To one free from these ideas, that supreme Brahman becomes manifest. To one whose highest refuge is Brahman, yea, that supreme Brahman becomes manifest to one whose highest refuge is Brahman.